So, you might be wondering, in Illustrator, how can I draw two vertical lines and two horizontal lines that create 9 equal-sized rectangles, white space, that defines the rule of thirds, where they're perfectly spaced? What are the measurements? How do you do this? Well, you let Illustrator do it for you. That's the whole point of learning how to think in these programs. So, how do we do this? It's too easy. Come down. Oh, first of all, that we want a document that's 16 by 9. It doesn't have to be, but because we're going to be working for our desktop in this 16 wide, 9 high format for a lot of our work early in the year, it will make our job easier to build this to the 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So this is web large. And if you don't know, if you're ever wondering, click on the artboard tool. See how it's above the slice tool and below, whatever is that, column charts, whatever that thing is, the artboard tool. You click once on it, and it actually makes the artboard live. And you can see you can resize it. You can make different. Anyway, what's important is up here in the control bar, we got our width and height, 1920, 1080. So you know that this is 16 by 9 because that's HD. And you click on any other tool to deactivate the artboard tool, click on any other tool. Then, to draw out our rule of thirds without doing any calculations and letting Illustrator do all the work, click on the line segment tool and hold down. And you may have the arc tool. I've seen some of you playing with these others. So you may have one of these others. Rectangular grid tool. Click. Now we have the rectangular grid tool. Come out to the upper left-hand corner where it says intersect and click. Don't click and drag, just click. And I think these are the default settings for the rectangular grid tool. For the options here, width and height. Well, first of all, the reference point, upper left-hand corner. Don't change this to one of these other points. We clicked in the upper left-hand corner. We want it to be sized from the upper left-hand corner. 1920, tab, 1080, tab. How many dividers? We want 2, right? Skew, that's going to, want them vertical and horizontal, 0 skew. 2, and then use outside rectangle as a frame. This will allow a rectangle to be drawn along with these 4 lines. And we want that because it's just going to be really useful for helping us visualize what's going on. And I have the default colors here, black and white. If you've got some other colors, this is going to ignore the fill because we have this deselected. So the fill is not going to play a part, but the stroke will. So you click OK, and boom, look at that. Click away. Whoops. Cancel, hit the letter V to get the selection tool. And you see we've got our grid made. And there's a line on the outside too. You can see the path out there. But we want to select this because aren't the grids usually another color? And don't you want to stand out? Now we could make it magenta, but grids and guides, usually the cyan color, right? We can always change this later. And as soon as you do that and click away, now we have our cyan grid. Now, I don't know if you've done the symbols mission yet, but I want to save this. Yes, it was easy to make, but I've made it. Why make it again? Why not just, I'm going to click here, shift click up here, and hold down Option and click on the trash can so I don't get, are you sure you want to delete that? Yes, I'm sure. I'm going to drag this up here, and, we can name these later. I'll come back. I don't want you to waste time watching me type. You can't see anything here, not too well, but it is this grid, right? And I can show you that just by clicking on this and deleting it and then pulling this thing out and saying, oh, there we go. Let's put this up in the corner. It'll snap right to it. And now we got it out here, but it's a symbol. I'm going to break the link because I don't want a symbol. I want to bring this shape into Photoshop. And I talked about making custom shapes. We'll save that for another mission. For right now, we have a symbol here in Illustrator that we can use in Photoshop. And I want to save this file, but I want to save it on my computer in my 21, my folder here. I'm going to hit Command 3 so I can get my folders up top. And I have a symbols folder already. So I want to save this as rule of thirds. And yeah, I made you watch that. But from now on, I have this file sitting inside that folder ready to rock. And now with this selected, I'm just going to hit Command C and jump over to Photoshop and hit Command V, paste this in as a smart object with this deselected because, normally I'd add it to my library, so I'd have it in the library. But when you do this in the MacLab, Photoshop just hangs, and there we got it. Now we can resize this, and look down in the corner, you can see the width and height. So you get an idea right away of what we got working. Now I could put this on this third or this third. Why would I choose this side? Why would I choose that side? Okay, the answer is this hand is facing in this direction, our palm. We call this other side the back of your hand. This is the way, if this were a face, it would be looking in this direction. So you create balance by projecting this hand into this area. This is how you achieve asymmetrical balance. And then you can see here that this does work. And how big is it? Well, you just start to resize it and you see 5,000 pixels. Well, how big is this image? Well, I selected the largest version possible, Option Command I for image size, and it's because I have this. I'm going to hit Return in order to commit that. Now Option Command I, and now we see this is almost 8,000 pixels wide. So you can get ultra high resolutions on images out of Unsplash if the photographer uses that type of camera. Now, this isn't the crop. This is just a visual cue. And doesn't this help you visualize how to position it, help you think in the rule of thirds, and help you set up before the crop, will this image work? Are there enough pixels? Will it look good? Is this the right place for this crop? Do I really want these distractors down here? And I could use some of Photoshop's tools to remove that little distractor right there and leave something like that. That would be fine. These are decisions you make after the fact, but this helps me, and I hopefully will help you think about using the rule of thirds, these natural focal points where this, the palm of the hand, man, the arm right on that third, this works. And then you can always resize this and reposition it. And then when you get a really good idea, then you come out with the crop tool and then you start doing your business. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense for you, but for me, I've never used this before. I'm going to use this from now on because I think this is an awesome idea that I'm going to use. And it's up to you whether you do or not.